What is up, everybody? Tech Chucker here, and I've got a review for you of the Marvel Legends Hydra 2-pack from TRU. That's right, this is the Enforcer and the regular reissue of the Hydra Soldier from the Mandroid. This is the back of the packaging. You can see it's a really nice picture, decent write-up on that. The packaging is just a little bit too big for me to be able to do the standard stop motion, but I am super excited about this 2-pack. Normally I don't buy the 2-packs, but this one was just too good to pass up. So let's go ahead and crack this thing open and take a closer look. Alright, so we're going to do both reviews at the same time. And since both of them are reissues, we're going to go through the articulation really quick. Starting with this guy, his head is on a ball hinge and he can look up all the way. He can get his chin all the way down into his chest, which is great. Good side-to-side motion, nothing getting in the way there. And just a little bit of tilt, not a whole heck of a lot. Moving into the shoulders, he's got a ball hinge. You can get his arm well above. He's got full rotation of that shoulder. There is an upper bicep swivel. That works good. Double jointed elbows. Those also work pretty decent if I can get this to go. There you go. He can get it almost all the way in half. There is a peg and a hinge in the wrist. That works really good. No issues there. Torso, he's got a hinge and he's able to crunch forward, back, decent amount. Waist swivel, nothing really getting in the way there. T-jointed ball hips, those work okay, could be better, should be better, but it's kind of what we expect. He's able to kick forward about this far, about 90 degrees, which is good. He's able to kick back about that far, not too bad. Upper thigh cut, that works really good. Double jointed knees, those also work really, really good. And then there is a shin cut that works okay. Mine's getting a little loose. And then he has a hinge in the ankle. He can get his foot this far back, and he can get his foot forward a decent amount. There's an ankle rocker. That works pretty good. So there's the small Hydra soldier. Let's take a look at the brute, the Enforcer. Now, this is Captain Britain, basically, with the cable nuke body. I can't remember. But his head is also on a ball hinge. Works good. Down, chin into his chest. Works good. Side to side. No real issues with that. And he's got a little bit of tilt in the head. Not a lot, but just enough. Shoulders, he's got a ball hinge. That also works pretty good. He's able to get his arm just above the shoulder. Full rotation of that shoulder. And then there is a bicep swivel. That works good. Double jointed elbows, those work relatively well. And then in the wrist, peg joint and hinge works good. Curls up, it could be a little better going up. In the torso, this is the same issue that we had with, I believe it was Nuke. He can crunch forward a decent amount. It's the jacket, the vest that gets in the way, and it kind of pops forward. Kind of looks ugly, but he can crunch forward a good amount. They needed a softer plastic. He can kind of crunch back. Let's get this popped back in here first. He can crunch back just a little bit, but he's got good side-to-side motion in that waist swivel. He's got T-jointed ball joints in the hips, and he's really able to do the splits pretty good. Better than I always call him Hydra Bob, but he can kick forward this far. Not too bad, not quite 90 degrees. He can kick back just a tiny bit, not much. There's an upper thigh cut. That works great. Double jointed knees, those also work pretty decent for a big figure. There is a shin cut that works pretty decent on mine. And then a hinge in the ankle, good going back, okay going forward, could be a little better. And then there is an ankle rocker, and that works pretty good. So overall, there's nothing too surprising with the articulation. We knew what we were getting because we pretty much knew that these were reissues, repaints of other figures that we've gotten. So, overall, I'm still pretty happy with it, though. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the sculpt and the paintwork on these, and as we already knew, these are this Hydra Soldier is basically an exact reissue, but the face looks nice, the head looks good. There's not a lot for paint. The yellow is just a stark yellow, mostly cast in yellow. There are some paint details like on the buckle, which is nice enough. But other than that, there's no paint. I like the sculpt. It's a very basic body mold, which works for this particular character because there's not a whole heck of a lot. Moving over to the Brute, the Enforcer. This is Captain Britain's head. I really like it. There's been a lot of people that kind of don't, but I like this look. I think it looks nice, and I don't even care that it's a repaint. They did a decent job with the paint. Those lines were pretty crisp. I like that the black, grenades. The vest should be softer. I wish it was a softer plastic. But, overall, they did a decent job. They actually put more paint into this. The buckles on the thighs could have been painted, and the knee pads should have been painted. I noticed that my shin here is a little funky, so I'm probably going to return this and get a different set. No paint on the boots. I really like these boots. They're reused. I don't remember who had them before, but everything is nice. The sculpt is really nice. It just needed a little bit more paint to really make this thing pop. So let's take a look at the measurements on both of these, and we'll start with the smaller one, and he's roughly around 6 1/4. The angle of the camera is probably making him look like he's 6 1/2, but it's about 6 1/4 for Hydra Bob. And then looking at the Enforcer Brute, Mr. Big Guy, he's about 7 inches roughly, which I really like. I like this 2-pack. I don't know. I think it looks really good. They look really nice together. It could have had a Hydra emblem on the Brute, but whatever. So, how does Deadpool compare to all of these? He scales pretty well. It's a Marvel Legend. Obviously, it should scale well. But I think that they look really good. And, the fact that Hasbro reissued the Hydra Soldier, but also gave us a little bit different figure with it, is really, really cool. So I really appreciate this. And they look really nice together. This is a little out of character for Hasbro. There are a lot of accessories in this 2-pack. And first we get this gun, which has the little barrel. I can't even remember what this thing's called. The one thing that I really like is that it is silver. It is a normal color. The sculpt, we've seen this before. I can't remember if Chameleon had this. I like the Hydra emblem logo painted on it. That's really nice. It's just kind of a cool little gun. And the other one that the smaller Hydra guy comes with is this shotgun, which we saw with Scourge, and I want to say we've seen this gun before. There's no real paint. There's a little chunk there, but the thing that makes me happy is it's at least a normal color. They didn't paint it green or yellow or anything dumb like that. They just let it be silver. Now, he comes with 2 alternate heads, and this is essentially the Taskmaster head, just repainted. It looks really nice. It's not really my favorite. I'm probably only going to have him displayed with his regular Hydra head on anyway, but at least we got these options. It's really cool to have options, and Hasbro actually put some effort into this. So this is what he looks like with that alternate head on. And it does look kind of cool. You can notice that my disc joint in the neck is getting a little loose, but it looks good. I just, it's probably not my cup of tea. And then we get this helmet, which is painted different than the Shield Agent helmet, but it's a very, very nice helmet. They painted it fairly well. It's nicely sculpted. Again, I'm probably just not going to use it because I prefer the original Hydra head, but again, nice to have options. So this is what this head is going to look like. If I can get that on without it slipping. There we go. Looks decent. I almost wish that this helmet would have had a little bit of a yellow accent to make it kind of fit with the yellow-green. But, it's okay. It looks good. All right, moving into this vest. He comes with a little vest. It should be a softer plastic. That's my only issue. Maybe a little bit of paint, some shading or dry brushing or something. But otherwise, it's a nice little vest. And you can get it on. It's not the most easy to get on, but you have to take this vest or this harness off. And it's not too terrible. You just kind of pop this off. You do have to pop the head off and slide it up over the neck. I assume. See if we can get this up and over. It's kind of rigid. It's not a super soft plastic. Come on. There we go. So that just slides off. and you can slide this on. Again, if it was a softer plastic, this would go on a heck of a lot easier, but you have to kind of move the arms back a little bit, kind of like when you're putting an actual, jacket on, to be able to get this thing to fit. But it does fit. I promise you it fits. There we go. There we go. Come on. Almost had it. There we go. That was a lot of work. But this looks pretty decent. I actually like this, and it does, it goes along pretty well with the other guy who has a vest on as well. So if you want both of your Hydra soldiers to match each other, there you have it. You can have both of them with a flak jacket or vest or whatever you call that. So it looks nice. I'm probably just going to display mine with the harness instead. But, like I said, it's nice to have options. So we'll move all of these out of the way, and then we're going to take a look at this guy's accessories next, because he has some pretty cool ones. First up is this alternate head, which is basically the nuke head, which, I'm not a huge fan of. It's, again, options. It's nice to have the options. It's painted well enough, but this being another character's head just isn't something that I really like. But this is what it looks like. With this head, I think it sits a little too high on the neck, makes his neck look too long, looks a little bit off, but, it's okay. Next up is this head, which is more of a buzz cut head, kind of a nasty, looks like his nose has been broken a couple times. They painted his lips, which is awesome. This head I actually like. I really like this one. I don't recall that we've gotten this before, but maybe we have. The eyes were painted good on mine, but this one sits a little bit lower on the neck, which looks a little bit better to me. If I can get that on, that's there. Yeah, now I think it's on. There we go. This one just looks a lot better. I think this looks much, more natural on the neck. It sits a little bit lower. Doesn't make him look so giraffe neck-ish. So I like it. He comes with this gun, which Nuke also had this gun, and I want to say someone else has had this one as well. Again, I'm happy that it's just silver. It's, they're not doing the stupid color scheme or anything like that. I'm happy with it. He doesn't really have a trigger finger, which is a little bit disappointing, but, I don't like this gun anyway. But this bazooka thing is really cool. I really, really like this thing. I think it's super awesome. It's sculpted really nicely. There's no paint on it aside from just the casting in gray, but it looks great. And if you wanted to, you could add some accent paint to it if you'd wanted to. This thing just looks really, really cool. All right, so getting this into his hand is a little bit tricky, not impossible, but once you get it in his hand, you can set that right up onto his shoulder, and this thing looks super awesome. Now, that just looks really cool. The one issue is because he doesn't have butterfly joints, it's kind of hard to actually get him into a true aiming pose, but you can deal with that with some different camera angles. And then he comes with this knife, which also Nuke came with, and it's a really nice knife. It's sculpted really nicely. The paint is very simple on this one. It's silver, and they painted the handle, and that's about it. But that's okay. I'm happy with that. And it fits into this sheath on his back, which is really, really cool. I like it. I got no problems with it. It's, it works really, really well. The only thing that I have an issue with is the fact that this, is essentially Nuke. But because they painted it differently, they gave it a completely different color scheme, I'm pretty darn happy with it. And look at all of these accessories that we get. There's a ton of accessories. You get 2 heads per figure, and you get at least 2 weapons per figure as well, which is really cool. And then you get the little flak jacket thing. This is really, really cool. I'm super happy with this. Very satisfied. It was worth paying, 40 bucks, because these are actually worth 20 bucks each, I think. Well, there you have it, folks. This is the review of the Hydra 2-pack. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below if you guys have this. Have you found it? Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What do you think? I personally really like this. If I had the money, I would probably do some army building. Unfortunately, I gotta move on to other things and buy other figures. But I would totally army build if I had the space and money. So let me know in the comments what you think. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.